What's up, everybody? So you want to try to get to 1,000 Solana. Man, it's a goal. I know a lot of people who might watch this channel or might be on the internet in general want to, at least in one day, make a full-time living from NFTs. And it's very, very tough to do. I've seen very few people do it successfully, but it can be done. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys everything I'm doing to try to make that happen and what you guys could potentially do if you would like to have that happen as well. So if you guys are new, make sure to drop a like, subscribe. Let's get right into it. Most important thing I think we should start with to get out of the way is NFTs are risky, extremely risky. So the number one thing I would say to do is do not quit your job. Whatever it is you're doing that makes you income, that you find in a day-to-day basis is stable, don't give it up yet. Because again, very few people at any point will be able to give up something like that. As much as I wish I could, that may happen one day, it's simply not possible yet. So the goal of this video is going to be try to one day reach that point. Don't give up what is making you money yet, because ultimately it takes a little bit of money to make money in the NFT space. So with that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about getting your liquid, which I think is perhaps one of the most underrated parts of all of this. So when we take a look at any stat, obviously CoinMarketCap being one of the best places to look for statistics on cryptos, Solana is going to be your main bet, but buying Solana on a day in which it is advantageous to buy it is always better than buying it on a day when it is pumping. And if you take a look at any time frame, even say 3 months or whatnot, there will always be a day in which Solana is down 5 or 10%. It happens all the time. It's called cryptocurrency. It's volatile. So always try to be buying more Solana when it is down. Don't buy it when it is up. That may sound very simple, but I find it so often when I see people who are buying Solana at outrageous prices. Even over the past year, a lot of people may remember purchasing Solana at 250, even though every technical indicator showed it probably wasn't going to stay at 250 for a very long time. So recently, over the past couple of months, I bought Solana at $70, $80. This makes it a lot easier for me to be able to invest in it and invest in projects in the future because my barrier of entry, my entry cost, was not nearly as much. The best strategy you could use for this, of course, is called dollar cost averaging. It's one of the most commonly used strategies in crypto, stocks, and any other asset out there, but the idea behind dollar cost averaging is to, in some way, shape, or form, try to buy an asset at the lowest price possible without chasing the bottom. So if you're trying to buy Solana, don't sit there and wait for it to hit $80 again, because it may never hit $80. If you consistently bought on down days, sure, your average may be $90 or $95, but that is still better than maybe say $200, which I could reasonably see Solana being at in a year from now. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe while you're at it. Let me know down below in the comments, guys, at this point in the video, what, at least in your opinion, is your favorite crypto to buy for NFTs. Solana is mine personally, but I would love to know yours down below in the comments. But before we go any further, guys, let's talk a little bit about my Patreon. I have worked tirelessly to make this the best NFT group out there. By joining my Patreon, you guys get literally an insane amount of content. You'll get a custom Discord role, direct access to me in a DM, full access to Matt's NFT dojo, crypto and altcoin trade signals, access to my exclusive NFT watch list, whitelist opportunities, priority access to my live streams, and so much more. To be honest with you guys, I think it's a steal for only $10 a month. And of course, if you guys would like to talk to me over voice in a voice call, you guys could always join the Emerald and above tier, which has that offered. Currently, there are hundreds of people joining the Patreon every month, and they absolutely love it. Link down below in the description. The next thing you guys are going to want to do is play your blue chip NFTs correctly. Now, at the moment, let's be honest, folks, there are pretty much 5 to 7 blue chip NFTs out there that I would truly call blue chips. Now, DGods obviously being one, that is one of my all-time favorites. This is an example of a blue chip. Obviously, you have Kets, which is another example of a blue chip. Astrals is being very much promoted by Shaquille O'Neal. I don't think it's a blue chip yet, but I think it's very, very close, given the insane amount of trading volume you guys may see on any given day. Of course, you also have Tombstone High Society, which looks to be doing very well right now, and Degen Ape Academy. So these, of course, on Magic Eden are ranked by being the most popular in terms of volume over the past 30 days, but I notice blue chips in general tend to rotate in terms of a cycle. I think a lot of the times you will see DGods having some kind of fantastic run when Solana Monkey Business, which I think so many people also do know about, is not having as much of a run. Then you may see another instance in which Solana Monkey Business is having a run and Degenerate Ape Academy is not having as much of a run. So definitely try to follow these blue chip cycles. They seem to happen every month or two when one of these blue chips tends to pop off and perform very well. Again, these are a very high barrier of entry, so it can be difficult, but I do think trying to get at least one blue chip at some point in your investing career is worth it, as I think we know pretty well that these won't be headed to zero. The next thing I would suggest doing is leveraging OpenSea, because OpenSea now is featuring Solana as a compatible collection here. And of course, they mentioned the fact that with low gas fees and fast transaction speeds, Solana is pretty much the move. And the reason why I love, of course, using OpenSea is because trends on OpenSea are very different than trends that are on, say, Magic Eden. So when you look at collections here on Solana here over on OpenSea, there are plenty of different collections and plenty of different projects here that may perform very well over on OpenSea, but might not perform as well over on, say, Magic Eden. A great example of this is Dope Cat, which basically had no presence on Magic Eden at all, but once it went to OpenSea, it hit a floor of 4 Solana in one day. So definitely looking for those pump projects that are coming onto OpenSea that have not seen as much success on the traditional Solana marketplaces may be a good thing to check out. And a great way to hear about this is, of course, to join a community. Like I always tell you guys, my Patreon is a great spot. If you guys would like to join my Discord group through my Patreon, you guys could always get access to some great people who do know a lot about information like that. But there are also tons of other servers out there. You don't have to just use mine. There are tons of other awesome servers out there that do give you information about different NFTs and things that people are investing in. Of course, finding a good alpha group is very much worth it. And of course, definitely a lot of DAOs for projects out there, say something like, you know, maybe DGods or Solana Monkey Business. They will have a Discord, they will have a DAO, and typically the people in there are pretty much Solana whales. So definitely getting used to something like that and learning to communicate with people in servers like that is a great option. The next thing you guys want to do is try to leverage passive income in some way, because there are a lot of projects out there that will offer fantastic passive income, and guess what you could do? You could reinvest that passive income right back into your NFT career. So obviously there are a lot of projects out there that do have different barriers of entry. I hear a lot of good things about Generous Robots. I don't own one, but I do hear a lot of good things about this project for passive income. I do hear a lot of good things about Bohemia, which I do have one of in terms of passive income. And of course, the blue chips tends to typically give you some level of passive income. DGods obviously being probably the best passive income on all of Solana. But the goal here is, even if you're not spending a whole fortune, I know obviously Solana Puppy Pound being one that people like as well. And of course, you could look at an option here, which is not all that expensive. Supposedly makes you a few dollars per day. Heard good things about it. There are a lot of projects like this you may be able to find by communicating with people over on Twitter or on an alpha Discord of some sort. But try to take it, even if it's just a few dollars per day, take that few dollars and constructively over time add it to more passive income projects, to more staking projects, or purchase that NFT you've been wanting to buy for a while. There's definitely a good argument to be made for trying to grow your NFT collection by leveraging passive income from other NFTs. Of course, you don't have to use 100% of the passive income you make. You could take 50% and put it in something like a dividend paying stock, which is a strategy that I am doing myself. But there's another strategy that you could do if it suits you. It's really all whatever you like, but taking a percent of whatever it is you make through passive income and trying to put it back into NFTs definitely might not be a bad idea. And the final thing I wanted to mention is putting an even spread of your income into mints, projects that are somewhat risky, and projects that are blue chips. I think the division of your funds is probably more important now than ever, because months ago you could go back, basically catch every single mint and make a fortune. It was possible. A lot of people did it. But the problem is diamond handing a lot of those mints, like I did back in the day, caused a lot of people to lose some money. And again, if I went back 8 months, a year ago, I was not a very good NFT trader. It took a lot of time, practice, and division to over time make good money with NFTs. And ultimately, that's what I had to do. Learning how to divide my initial investment into a project among a project that may, be brand new off of mint that I have hope in, or a project that may have been around for 8 months. There are plenty of different options out there and plenty of different strategies I would suggest if you are trying to divide your income as best possible. So let's start with a very, very bare bones sort of strategy here. We'll start with a moderately risky, a super risky, and maybe a little risky in terms of a project. So let's take a look at something like Solana Puppy Pound. So the risk here for something like this is pretty minimal because it's not a very large investment. We only have to invest 2 Solana to get involved in this project. If it goes to 0, that would suck, but nobody would lose their home over it. Nobody would lose an astronomical amount of money if they bought 1 Solana Puppy Pound. That's one example. Of course, if you wanted to buy a pesky penguin, this is an example of, at least in my opinion, probably the cheapest blue chip out there. It's only going for 6 Solana right now, which again is definitely not cheap, but it definitely is cheaper than a lot of the other blue chips out there. This is kind of along the medium risk territory because, of course, it's a little bit more to spend on something like this, but I do think they will be here for some time to come. Then, of course, you have the blue chips, which obviously are not as risky because they are more successful, but they also do cost cost more. So how you view that really depends on your budget. If 36 Solana is not a lot of money to you, then you might not view KETS as a risk because it is more of a blue chip project. If 36 is a lot of money, which it is to certain people out there and to myself included, this is a project I would feel a little uncomfortable with risking that much on, given the fact I already have a lot of other NFTs that I have spent my liquidity on. So it really just depends on liquidity. If you like something like, say, DeGods out there, this is a very, very high floor price that a project like this is commanding. It's kind of risky to spend that kind of money on one single NFT, but again, the reward is very, very high. So I cannot tell you what level of Solana and what level of passive income is what level of risk, because it really just depends on you. How much are you able to expend? How much of your liquidity are you using? And how much of a waiting period or a lagging period can you afford to wait for a floor price to creep up or for passive income to start rolling in? But please do try to create an even spread of projects that are cheap, some that are mid-tier and some that are high-tier. I find so many people just blow all of their funds on risky mints or only buy blue chips. They're missing out on a lot of the variety that you could make. And again, the market always does have cycles. I find sometimes you could always catch a cycle, whether it is a cycle into a certain blue chip or a cycle into a certain really cheap NFT. There's always a cycle going on. Again, try to use information you find over on Twitter, Discord, whatnot to generate a good idea of where you want to spend your money. So with that being said, folks, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Hope you guys learned something, and hopefully this will help you guys get to 1,000 Solana one day. Again, make sure to join the Patreon down below in the description. I really do appreciate it, and drop a like if you guys enjoyed. My name is Matt. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.